Hey everybody, welcome to Don't Copy That Floppy. I'm your host, Lex.
I'm your other host, Dan.
And it is... What day is
What
it
is
today?
I have this idea for the show, where we should at the beginning say what day the date is. What day is it? That's what you said to me.
but then I didn't actually know what date it was, and it ruined it. So it's May 6th,
Yes.
2016.
Yes.
For anyone listening in the future...
Welcome back.
I like to think that someone in 2077 is listening to this. They found some sort of old archive of it.
I was just thinking.
Yeah.
Did you get that number from our story?
Oh, I did. We have so little news to talk about this week. You won't even believe it.
We have so little news that we're actually going to talk about Battlefield.
Oh no, it's a sad day. It's a sad day for video game related news.
So there was no way in hell we could miss all the news about the new Battlefield game, because as I was searching for news stories from the past week, I'd say about half of them were about this.
Oh, it
was really depressing.
Dark times. So what other stories do we have that we're talking about?
We got a story about Call of Duty as well. Really rounded out.
Oh yeah.
We've got an interesting story about hacking, a little different from our usual one. We have a lot of game release dates, news of upcoming titles, some developers, and what the developers are currently doing, what they're really doing soon.
Release dates we were happy to get, release dates we don't believe.
We have an interesting little follow-up on the Blizzard World of Warcraft private server controversy.
Oh, yes.
Then it's just a kind of a bunch of random little things, and then we're going to get to upcoming game releases and games that just came out. And I last week talked about how I was enjoying Star Fox Zero. I have an update on that.
Oh no. No.
I definitely, since we don't have that much news, I don't want to set aside a few minutes to share some updated thoughts on Star Fox Zero. In Dark Souls 3. Because Dark Souls 3, I have beaten every boss now, and am at the cusp of starting New Game Plus. So I feel like I'm in a good position to give my overall impressions.
Oh, nice.
For anybody who gives a crap, almost a month after the game's out, what I think of it.
I've actually been playing so many more games, recently than I did before. Yeah, I'll start.
Did you beat Hyper Light Drifter yet?
I haven't, but I've beaten almost all of it.
I'm gonna have to get back into that.
I've gotten pretty far into it. Yeah, I guess I'll take a minute to talk about this a little since we don't have a huge amount of stories. But, but yeah, no, I recently resurrected a laptop, and and then I found out how Steam streaming.
Was the Dust expensive?
It was difficult.
This is a joke that might go past a lot of people.
It's Dungeons and Dragons. That's what we're talking about. But yeah, so then I learned how Steam streaming works because I resurrected this laptop and I was just I was just like, oh, this is great. I'm gonna play games on the go, and then I realized it didn't have a separate graphics card. It had an integrated graphics card, and I thought, oh no, this is not gonna run much. But then I figured out how streaming worked, and I started using it, and man, does that work well. I mean,
you were saying that it's shocking. Almost how smooth it runs once you get it all going.
I noticed very little delay with the stuff I was running. I wasn't running anything super intense, but it was it ran super well. I was really impressed by it. So I've been gaming on my television a lot, and I've been playing. I don't know if you're a Master of Orion fan.
I have played Master of Orion.
Which one?
The
second one.
I think
so. Second one's where it's at.
The second one's the one we played Hot Seat in once. Right?
Yes.
Yeah. Second one's the one I played the most of.
So there's so the second one's amazing. It's an old Microprose game from the 90s.
Yeah.
And
does that run on DOS?
Yeah, I think it does run on DOS. Yes. Yeah. It might have been one of those things where it runs on both.
It was on the border there.
Yeah.
DOS. We were moving away from DOS.
Finally.
Into the dark times. Into the dark times.
Into Windows 95.
Yeah.
But no, so there's a new Master of Orion game that's still in early access, and I grabbed it off of Good Old Games. And it's called Master of Orion Conquer the Stars. And it's not made by Microprose, because I don't think Microprose exists anymore.
Yeah.
But
Are you sure?
It's made by a different company who got the rights, and you can tell they're just making a concentrated effort to be like, we're just going to remake Master of Orion 2, but with modern graphics.
That's terrific.
It is terrific. It's so
that
good.
Sounds wonderful.
It's so much fun. It's fantastic.
That game's already like a really functional, well put together, fun strategy game.
Yeah.
You don't really need to change it all that much.
So I'm actually excited because since it's still in early access, right now, I think aside from like one feature, like you can't do spying because it hasn't been implemented yet, but otherwise it has everything that was in Master of Orion 2 right now. So I'm like, so I'm excited to see the additional stuff that gets put into it.
Definitely. That's really cool.
So I'm playing a lot of that. That game's amazing. I went and I downloaded off of Steam or somewhere. Yeah, that's Steam. The old, well, not old, but like 2005 old, Marvel beat 'em ups, the top-down thing. So X-Men Legends 2 and Marvel Ultimate Alliance.
The ones that are like Baldur's Gate Dark Alliance.
Yes.
That are in that style, that isometric style.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And playing those, and they're still really fun. I mean, they're still repetitive. But
I mean, I played Baldur's Gate Dark Alliance like a year or two ago again. It was fun.
And then I borrowed it from you, and then I didn't give it back.
Yeah. Got to the final boss, beat the final boss, game froze.
Great. Good job.
It was the best. It was wonderful.
Yeah, that game has a couple of glitches in it that I've noticed.
It was a moment.
But okay, so I've wasted enough time.
Yeah, let's talk about Battlefield 1.
Battlefield, not the first Battlefield game.
We're talking about the new Battlefield 1.
It's just like Xbox One.
Will this game be releasing on the new 3DS?
New 3DS Lite, damn.
This is just another situation like this, though, where they're calling it Battlefield 1. And I will say at least they have a reason for this one.
Oh no, it totally makes sense. It's just still obnoxious.
Yes, so this game, it's a Battlefield game, it's set in World War One, which is neat. It's a change of pace. We have not really gotten many World War One games. I'm going to say my first thought about it, when I saw this, I was like, oh neat, it's World War One. Then I looked at all of the art and costuming and style of the trailer, and pretty much everything visually about it. And it makes me think of Killzone.
It does.
Makes me think of a futuristic shooting game. But this is supposed to be a World War I game.
Yeah, well, it seems like super fast-paced action, but that's not what World War I was about.
It was a bunch of dudes sitting in muddy trenches getting trench foot.
Yeah.
And occasionally popping up to shoot each other or get gassed.
Hey, they were mortared as well, alright?
Fair enough.
I really hope there's a mechanic where you have to identify the different dropping sounds of bombs like they had to do in World War I.
But that's the thing, is it seems like this is going to be like a balls to the wall, boots on the ground, fast-paced action game. When I feel like a more realistic portrayal of World War I would make for much more compelling gameplay.
Oh, definitely.
Like, make it almost like a more survival game. Survival horror-esque almost, where you have very limited resources. You have to, you gotta not be an idiot. And like you said, you gotta identify the sounds of, bombs being dropped. You gotta put your piss-soaked rag on your face when the mustard gas is creeping towards you.
That's true.
That's what I want. I want piss rags in this game.
But we knew that EA and DICE were not going to give us something like that. And that doesn't look like what this is. Maybe I'll be pleasantly surprised. But
even just this character they're showing us, their figurehead character, who's they got the statue up in the collector's edition, doesn't look like a World War I soldier.
No.
He looks like a dude from Killzone. Looks like one of the Resistance dudes from Killzone.
Yeah.
It really bugs me.
It's also okay, this is... I'm going to be a little racialist for a second with you.
Racialist?
A little bit. The guy on the cover of the game is black.
Yes.
And there's nothing wrong with that.
There were black soldiers in World War I.
There were, but there were very few.
Yes. And they were in their own
very, very few. It's a weird representative. It's a weird to pick that as the representative of your war.
It's bizarre.
Although one of the things that I'm giving this game a lot of credit for, and I actually like about what they're doing, is it's not all taking place in the trenches of Europe.
Yes. So that is cool. There's going to be stuff in, like...
Northern Africa. There's going to be stuff in the Middle East, other parts of the Middle East.
This outfit looks kind of like a desert outfit.
Yeah.
So I'm assuming that's what they're going for.
So, like, maybe there's some fighting going on in Morocco, or I don't know.
So that's cool. I like that they have said, like, there's going to be all these vehicles, there's going to be horses, there's going to be these primitive tanks, there's going to be biplanes.
And apparently in the story mode, you play as different characters within the different regions. So you get a little bit of each.
Hearts with more murder.
Well, yeah. And no dogs, probably. I don't know. There might be dogs.
That's what I want to know. How will this game stack up to Valiant Hearts? I do like that they say that a lot of the weapons, it's going to be like, you have a shovel.
Yeah, you're going to have to use melee weapons. Yeah, if the guns in this game function anything like the guns did in World War I, they're going to jam frequently. They're going to all be single shot.
That's what I want. I want a gun jam mechanic.
Although, here's the problem.
That would be amazing.
In the trailer, someone uses an automatic gun. I saw that, and I was like, wait a minute. I'm pretty sure those weren't invented yet. Or, like, they were technically invented, but not really a thing in World War I.
I mean, they had, like, Gatling guns.
And they had didn't they have ones where you cranked it?
Yeah, the cranked Gatling guns. In a big chain-fed ammo belt.
But that was not what they were using in the trailer.
The wheel, and it went like... Like, it was really cool.
Yeah.
And they sold them to Japan, and killed all the samurai.
Oh, that did happen. Tom Cruise taught me about that.
Tom Cruise, he got killed.
Yep.
No, he didn't. He got crippled.
He was the last samurai, because in a movie called Last Samurai, why would you cast an Asian actor?
Beautiful and white to be killed.
Exactly.
Ken Watanabe was actually the last samurai.
That's true.
In the movie, he was actually the last samurai.
He was actually the last samurai.
But Tom Cruise was on the poster and got top billing.
Are we going to have time this podcast to talk about Scarlett Johansson as
Kusanagi?
Yeah, as the Major in Ghost in the Shell?
The last Section 7 agent?
We don't have time. But no,
Section 7, right?
I think so.
Whatever.
But
so yeah, it's neat. I like that they're at least mixing things up a little bit.
Oh, and I mean, I think we mentioned it a little bit, but the trailer, aside from fast-paced action and a dirigible, there's the scoring for the trailer is some of the most abominable.
It's bad
Garbage.
I compared it to the Star Trek Beyond trailer with Sabotage by the Beastie Boys.
Yep.
Similar tonal dissonance.
Yeah. Because, nothing says Star Trek like the Beastie Boys, and nothing says Battlefield World War I like...
Modern industrial rock.
Yeah.
I want to, for the record right now, though, clarify, I do not mean to disparage the Beastie Boys.
No, the Beastie Boys are amazing.
I quite like them.
Listen, what's the name of the album? Hot Sauce Committee Part 2?
I think that's right.
Is an amazing album, start to finish. Just an amazing album,
and
it was put out so much later in their career, and it really proved they just still had it. Oh.
So we have a story after this. I guess to finish up the Battlefield 1, the Call of World War Battle Duty 1 story that we have. Cool. Still not really sold on the tone they're going for with it and everything.
I'm reserving judgment for more gameplay.
Yeah, I'm sure the game... What I can say is I'm sure the game will be functional and fun and decent, regardless of any of the gameplays.
Yeah.
I'm sure it'll be perfectly fine. Infinity Ward decided on May the 2nd to explain to us why Call of Duty is going to space. Lex, did you know Call of Duty was going to space?
After Modern Warfare and them fighting drones and things like, I kind of expected it. Yeah.
Did you know there was a game called Call of Duty Infinite Warfare in development at all?
You know what I would have assumed? If someone was like, name the next Call of Duty game, just cold, and I would have been like, I don't know, Infinite Warfare.
You make a fair point. I'm just trying to hammer on the fact that I had no idea this game existed.
No, I haven't heard anything about the development of it. Although, again, I assumed there was a Call of Duty game in development.
Right.
Because why wouldn't there be?
So, they're going to space, apparently. And the game's narrative set in a future time that they wouldn't really tell us much about. And you play Commander Nick Reyes, a Tier 1 Special Operations pilot who helms the Retribution, one of Earth's last remaining warships.
You mean
then
Mr.
they go
Chef?
together to fight the Covenant.
Yeah.
You and me went to the same place on that one.
Yeah.
So you're on the Pillar of Autumn.
Yeah.
And you and Commander Keyes have to wake up Master Chief.
That's
to fight Captain Keyes, excuse me. How dare I?
Get it right.
And he says that he doesn't think anyone will mistake this with anything but a Call of Duty game.
I don't know, it seems like we're going to mistake it with Halo a whole lot.
The story is occurring in our solar system with human versus human combat in a grounded, military, plausible, realistic experience involving spaceships.
Oh.
So yeah. I like how this says boots on the ground gritty experience, which is exactly how Call of Duty or how Battlefield 1 was described.
That is the same wording, yeah.
It's the exact same wording.
Although, is it like the same writer who did both those stories? Because both of them were from Polygon.
It might have been. It very well might have been.
We closed the other one.
Even so,
we can't check.
Vary up your metaphor.
Yeah, I know, right?
Within the same week of stories. So yeah, those things are happening. Let's talk about hacking.
Oh.
We talk about hacking a lot. Usually we talk about hackers being douchebags.
But in this case, a hacker was a hero. Or at least a vigilante.
Vigilantes can be heroes. Batman's a hero.
Yeah. I mean, I guess most superheroes are
Punisher's
also...
a hero. Why not?
Is he a hero? That's an open question,
That's
alright?
open for discussion. Tune in next week to our podcast, Is Punisher a Hero?
Open discussion.
We will be doing a 4-hour live podcast.
We have an article from PC Gamer from 4 days ago, which was the 2nd.
Yep.
And it is entitled, How One CSGO Player Took Catching Hackers into His Own Hands.
Yep.
Okay, so basically, a lot of people...
Counter-Strike Go is a really popular game.
Yes, and a lot of people hack it. A lot of people.
Just like old Counter-Strike.
Yeah, and now I don't play Counter-Strike because I'm not much for Twitch shooters. But I know people who do, and they have confirmed to me that yes, everyone hacks on it.
Yes.
And it's really frustrating. So Valve set up, what was it? A VAC system, VAC, in order to, which is an automated system that was trying to catch people who were using cheats.
Yes.
And then ban them.
Yes.
But apparently that system didn't work very well because very few people were banned and everyone was cheating.
Yeah.
So earlier this year, a player named, with the tag Android L, decided to take matters into his own hands.
What did Mr. Android do?
Well, he decided to start releasing his own hacks for the game that would be like, oh, look at this will give you infinite ammo.
He went on cheat forums.
And people were like, oh, sweet, bro, awesome.
Oh, bro, I get all the hottest cheats. Here's a meme for your trouble.
And then people downloaded these hacks and installed them and started playing. And
these were timed to, after a certain point, start screwing with people's games.
And also to put in put in special flags for VAC
for the cheating scans.
Yes.
Essentially. It would set it so their view was constantly skewed, and there'd be a non-stop bunny hop script, so their characters would just be jumping and looking wherever, all the time.
Yes.
So they would immediately get banned, because the thing would pick them up immediately for using this stuff. Android L explained that the game has a cheating problem, and he doesn't think that Valve is doing enough to prevent it. And for such a competitive game with such an active and thriving community, Valve fails to at least acknowledge cheating as an issue, which is appalling. And due to their failure to communicate, they aren't sure if they're actually attempting to combat cheaters or not. It's impossible to play a game of CSGO today without suspecting someone on the enemy team of cheating.
Mm.
So clearly, this is a man pushed too far. Who just wants to play Counter-Strike, but Valve's not doing enough to combat cheating, in his opinion. And I think it's funny because he didn't do anything wrong, I don't think.
Well, yeah, because he's already giving them software that is considered illegal, so if it just does an illegal thing that they didn't want it to do...
Oh, well.
Yeah, that's kind of on them.
They're the ones who downloaded it and ran it.
Now, I think, and I could be getting these numbers a little wrong, the first time, because he's done this 3 times, he has released these things, and what he's done is he's even, gone so far as to, when he disseminates them on forums, like, he disseminates them under, like, different usernames, and he, like, changes his email, and I think he might have even done something to, like, mask his, like, IP or something.
Yeah.
So that people would think it was someone different every time. So he's done 3 releases, and I guess the first release got, like, 1,000 downloads. The third one, however, got, 3,500. So it just keeps being more and more successful for him.
Yeah. And he says that he is going to continue to do this. He sees no reason to stop, as long as cheating stays a thing. I like this guy, because in all of his messages, he's very well spoken, and he's not doing anything bad. He's just giving cheaters what they deserve for cheating at a game and ruining other people's fun. So good for him. I got no problem with it. Android L's a cool guy in my book.
I know, right?
Like, good.
I think when I posted this story to our Facebook, I posted it with the little tagline, "The hero we deserve."
Yeah, you did. I remember seeing that, and I was like, oh, look at this guy.
It's very apt.
So I guess the rest of our stories are just kind of like announcements about games, or of release dates, or updates. We don't have a whole lot.
Like we said, not a particularly exciting week.
But don't worry. I got some stuff in store.
Oh, no. So, May the 4th was 2 days ago. Yes. And for those who don't know, because they're fools...
What is so important about the 4th of May? It's the day before Cinco de Mayo. Is the day where everyone goes and buys all their alcohol?
Well, that's true. The day that Corona light sales go through the roof.
I can't imagine anything more important than that.
Well, it turns out, you know what's more important than that? Star Wars references.
That's also true.
So, May the 4th...
I went and bought some Star Wars comics on May the 4th.
Oh.
And I read them.
Were they good?
They were good. Nice. One was about Poe Dameron.
Yeah, it was funny. May the 4th.
Cool guy.
May the 4th was Wednesday, and it was a new day for comic books. And only one new Star Wars comic came out that day.
Yep.
And I was like, really, Marvel? You couldn't...
Yeah, I was shocked.
I mean, the other thing that they did was they reprinted the first issues of all of their new Star Wars series for $1, and they reprinted the Star Wars Tales, Star Wars Stories, Star Wars Tales, I think, from 1977, the first issue of that, and
cool.
And the first issue of Star Wars Droids. You should have picked it up. Because it's funny. It's $1.
Ew.
Like, whatever.
Oh no!
It was a silly thing, but
yeah, it was a silly thing.
So you know, lots of Star Wars stuff going on that day, and there were some video game related Star Wars announcements. One of them had to do with the Lego Star Wars game, which I'm looking forward to. This is Lego Star Wars: The Force Awakens, to be a little more clear.
I have mixed emotions about this because I like the Lego games, or should I say, I really want to like the Lego games.
I think they have definitely waned.
The last few I've played have been really glitchy.
Oh, really?
Like,
that's interesting.
Very buggy. And I don't mean, like, weird little insignificant things. I mean, like, game-breaking, like, freeze glitches, glitches where your characters get stuck in an animation over and over again, so you have to restart levels.
Oh, no.
There are things where enemies will loop forever doing something that they're supposed to be doing, but they'll never finish doing it, so, like, a sequence will not progress properly.
Oh, yeah.
I just encountered a lot of that in the last 2 that I played, I believe. So I'm kind of like, every time a new one gets announced, I'm like, oh cool, a new Lego game, but oh wait a minute, will it be all messed up still?
Hopefully not.
Hopefully not. But regardless, Lego Star Wars Force Awakens. That's cool.
It sounds cool. I'm excited. And there was an article from Polygon from May 4th, obviously, talking about all of the sort of story additions. They're just giving us, like, extra levels that weren't in the movie. Yeah. And a lot of them are just fluff, but some of them sound like fun. And
oh my god! C-3PO getting his arm!
Yeah!
I read that comic book. That level's gonna be crazy!
Watch it not be the same as the comic at
For
all.
anybody who's actually curious about that, like, even if you've already looked it up and learned where C-3PO got his red arm, because they were talking all about, oh, where'd he get his red arm? If you can, read that comic book. It's actually really good.
And it's a one-shot, right?
It's a single issue. Yeah, it's like 40 pages. Give it a read. It's, like, super nice. The art's really cool. I was, like, shocked at how much I enjoyed it, actually.
So they're having that. They're having, Rathtar hunting with Han Solo and Chewie. Han Solo going to be voiced by Harrison Ford.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah, and
surprising.
Let's see, Laura Santeca's return. Oh, the Max von Sydow's character from the beginning of the movie.
Yes.
Him going on adventures.
Mm-hmm.
There's a mission where Poe Dameron rescues Admiral Akbar.
That sounds fantastic.
Which, it just sounds fantastic.
If you put Poe Dameron on anything, I'll watch it, play it, or read it.
Yeah.
I don't care.
It suits you, yeah. There's the Crimson Corsair level, which was just like a side character from The Force Awakens who looked cool.
Oh, yeah, the red armor guy.
Yeah.
Who's, like, supposed to be a space pirate.
Yeah, but he wasn't really in the movie.
And Finn's like, can I be on your ship? And he's like, yeah.
Yeah, kid.
Yeah.
Except he doesn't say that, because I don't think he actually has any lines.
Help me load these boxes, though.
Yeah.
That's all they do.
So he gets a mission where he's doing space pirating.
Yeah. C-3PO getting his red arm.
Yep.
And a puzzle piece to how the Resistance and the First Order find Lor-San Tekka.
And it is an assault mission, so I assume some sort of space battle, maybe?
Yeah, probably.
Sounds fun.
So that's cool. I notice in the list of the cast here, it says Daisy Ridley, John Boyega, Adam Driver, Harrison Ford, Carrie Fisher, Max von Sydow, and more. Doesn't say Oscar Isaacs.
Yes, some missions not even going to be in it.
I'd be really disappointed.
He was too busy. He was too busy being an X-Men to do the voiceover work. Oh my god, it's true.
I just rewatched Force Awakens, and I don't think it would be outside of what is appropriate to say that I think I have a little man crush on Oscar Isaacs because of that movie.
Get in line, Ted. Get in line.
Just a little one. Not Adam Driver, though. He's a weenie.
He is a weenie.
But actually, that was, like, the best thing. Is what a weenie Kylo
Ren is. Yeah, he played the weenie character in a way that was compelling and not annoying.
It was so amazing. I've never seen that done before. So yeah, that's very cool. For me, what's even cooler right now is that we finally, as of yesterday, May the 5th, have an actual release date for Persona 5. It is coming out September 15th, 2016, in Japan.
Don't worry, you can use Amazon to import it.
That's true. And then I cannot enjoy it adequately because there's tons of dialogue.
Yeah, that's very dialogue-heavy game.
There is no global release date yet. It just says, for like other territories, it still just says 2016. It's not uncommon for that to be the case with Japanese titles. Sometimes they will announce the Japanese release date and we won't get the global release until a few days later, even if it's the same day or like very close by. So I'm still assuming this is going to come out in other territories around the same time. But we will see. A 4-minute long trailer came out along with this announcement. That shows off a bunch of the new characters, like that we had not seen at all before. They finally released like the cover art, so it shows the whole party and everything. And it looks really cool. Like the new trailer was great. Shows a ton of stuff. I'm like really excited for this game. The style of the whole thing is like super on point. It looks great. It looks really great. And this looks like the story is going to be a little more. I'm trying to think of the right word for it. The story looks a bit more intense, at least more intense than Persona 4. Persona 4 is basically Scooby-Doo. So it's pretty lighthearted most of the time, but the vibe that the trailer gives shows that it's still going to have that lightheartedness, but a lot of the more serious stuff in the trailer looks much darker, which I think is pretty cool. And your party is not like goody two-shoes teenagers. You're like delinquents, and you form like a band of thieves. And stuff like Lupin the Third style, which I think is pretty awesome. So, that's exciting. Almost as exciting as the Pokemon Cookbook! Because we don't have any other stories to talk about.
Oh no.
Now even you can taste Pikachu.
Ugh.
This is a story from May 5th. Apparently Viz Media is bringing the Pokemon Cookbook to bookstores December 6th. It will be $14.99, and there are over 35 recipes inspired by a variety of Pokemon and cuisines. Among the entrees mentioned by Viz are Pikachu ramen and Pokeball sushi rolls.
So this is all going to be Japanese food?
There's talk of pizza.
Oh, really?
Japan does love its pizza, though. So yeah, it's very exciting information to know that we may very well be getting delicious Pokemon food this holiday season. Look at that Pikachu... whatever that is. It's some unknown Japanese quantity. I feel like maybe it's a dessert.
They're strawberries.
That doesn't mean anything.
Yeah, that doesn't mean anything to Japan.
Japan's crazy. They'll do whatever they want with food. What's that brown stuff? I don't know.
I mean, let me put it this way: does anyone in the States remember when Burger King, and they might still be doing this? No, they're not still doing this. But when Burger King decided to start making black hamburger buns,
black.
yeah,
maybe
these were Halloween or something, and you probably thought to yourself, "Boy, that's really weird." Do you know where that idea came from? Japan.
They did it first.
And Japan went all out, because Japan colored...
It was the all-black burger.
Yeah, like the vegetables and the cheese and the condiments, like everything was black.
Well, Japan is much higher tech than us. They can do that.
Yeah.
We don't know how to do that.
Over here, it was just like, well, the meat's already black, and I guess we'll make the bun, too, and yeah, that's it.
Japan, you can also get a Maguro burger, just a tuna burger.
That sounds interesting,
right?
Actually. Yeah.
It might actually be good. Like, you never know.
Yeah.
So that's the thing. We talked about Nintendo. At the upcoming E3, they're going to be showing us the NX. They're also going to be showing us Zelda Wii U more in depth for the first time.
Oh, well, finally.
So apparently, their annual E3 pre-show conference on June 14th at 9 a.m. Pacific time. Instead of a news-filled Nintendo Direct, the presentation will be 100% the Legend of Zelda game. We kind of talked about this before last week, but this is like our confirmation that that's the deal. Their pre-E3 thing is all Zelda. There's not going to be anything else. Which means, hopefully, that we're actually getting a ton of news about this game. Of which there has been,
oh my god, what if it's, all Amiibo news?
That
all
would be
Zelda
so
Amiibo
I want it to be
news?
8 minutes long, and they're just like, look at the new Zelda Wii U Amiibo. It'll be compatible with the new Zelda Wii U game.
It'll unlock...
Yes, your Amiibos will even work on the NX. Thank you for watching.
It might unlock a different costume.
Oh my god.
Oh, that would be horrible.
So yeah, that's that.
I have a story that I can add into this. Because we were just talking about E3. As of yesterday, Game Informer got their hands on the schedule for E3 2016. The press conference schedule, specifically. And which we will be covering at length. We won't be there because we don't have money. That's ridiculous. But we will be talking quite a bit about it. So, on Sunday, June 12th, we will be seeing the EA press conference, which will be in the afternoon, and Bethesda will be after that in the evening. On Monday the 13th, we will be seeing the Microsoft press conference in the morning. The PC gaming show, so I guess general PC stuff, conference, which will be around noon. And then Ubisoft will be into the afternoon. Sony has yet to announce. And as we said, Nintendo is having a direct. But I don't know if we know exactly when that's going down, in terms of what time or what day. We just know it's happening during E3.
Yeah.
But yeah, these will all be watchable live on Twitch because the internet's cool like that now.
Yeah.
So, get excited for June.
Get hyped.
I can't really get that hyped about E3 anymore.
No,
I just can't do it.
I can't either. Last year's wasn't that interesting.
They've been going down
Sony's
for a
press
while
conference
now.
last year was cool.
Yeah.
They showed a lot of interesting stuff and things that we didn't expect.
Isn't it last year or the year some guy came out with a big moon mask thing?
You mean the Nier guy?
Yeah.
Yeah, because they announced Nier Automata.
Yeah. So that was exciting.
He's been wearing that mask in every single interview about that game.
Does he just wear that mask all the time, do you think?
Also, for Dragon Guard 3, he gave an interview with us in hand puppet.
Oh.
He, kneeled under the table and talked to everyone through a hand puppet.
I like this guy.
Yeah. And then when the interview ended, the hand puppet killed itself.
What?
Yeah.
This is amazing.
He's crazy.
I need to look this guy up.
He makes crazy-ass video games, and when you see him in interviews, you understand why.
What?
Because he's crazy. And those games are freaking weird.
So weird.
I remember when I first saw Dragon Guard, and I was like, oh, so it's like a medieval action game where you have a dragon partner. That's cool. And then I played it. That is not what that game is about. That game is fucked.
Oh no.
In 6 Ways to Sunday. My god. Shit gets weird fast. So, Hyper Light Drifter.
I love it.
You've been playing it. You've been playing more than me.
I've beaten most of the bosses.
You're doing a good job. Hyper Light Drifter's lead designer, Teddy Diefenbach, who is not to be confused with Alex Preston, the creative director of the game.
Okay,
and founder of the studio, Art Machine Studios. Mr. Diefenbach has been has been hired by Square Enix alongside one of the designers on Fez and the upcoming game Below, Renaud Bedard. Bedard. I don't know how to pronounce that right. I don't know. It's French. So they're collaborating together at Square Enix on some other project, which is cool. And Diefenbach says that he's been indie long enough to be wary of big company pitfalls, but the conversation after conversation convinced me that this team has created a studio that protects the creative process, with the first priority being original, valuable, beautiful work. So there's his reasoning for going to this big company to do this. Because I'm assuming some people were like, oh my god, he's going to a AAA studio, why would he do that? Meanwhile, Hyper Light Drifter's been doing great. Diefenbach is leaving Alex Preston, the director, in charge of Art Machine Studios, but he will continue to be involved with big decisions regarding the game, such as the co-op mode beta that has been started.
Yeah, reported on that last week. We were excited.
As well as console ports that are also in development.
Oh yeah,
because the game's been very successful, which is great. Cool.
So I like that the guy from Fez and the guy from Hyper Light Drifter are going to team up on something. Because I don't...
The guy from Fez, not to be confused with Phil Fish.
Yeah, not...
Because when I read that, I was like, oh god, Phil Fish? No! But then it's not. So it's fine.
But I think that they're both games that have super interesting and challenging gameplay that makes you think. And they're both games with really cool art styles.
Yes.
So yeah, I'm really interested to see a collaboration between people who worked on both those games.
We have a great contrast in Hyper Light Drifter being this fast-paced action game, and Fez being this slower-paced puzzle game, too. So maybe seeing how those come together could be really interesting from a gameplay perspective, definitely. And
there's going to be pixels in that game. There's going to be some pixel art. Get ready.
But if it's anything like the other two games, it's going to be some gorgeous pixel.
Oh, yes.
And Hyper Light Drifter is pretty.
Oh, it's so pretty. That's
so good.
That's the game.
And that soundtrack. It's so good.
That atmosphere. It doesn't have dialogue. It doesn't need dialogue.
It doesn't need dialogue. Dialogue is for wusses.
That's the game that I vote that game most likely to GIF 2016.
My number 9. I'm just going to start by saying that. My number 9.
Going to be least likely to GIF 2016.
What is this new thing?
I think we need to make a fake award show where we just make up our own awards.
We should do awards. We should start doing awards at the end of the year.
We should.
What's our game of the year? My game of the year is Wonderful 101.
Yes, of course it would.
Every year that I play it, it's my game of the year. My number 9 actually has a launch date. Again.
I don't believe it.
June 21st.
So this is an article from May 2nd from Polygon, and Polygon is a reputable news source. Don't get me wrong.
They're good.
But I don't believe it.
Yeah. Allegedly, the game, which was crowdfunded in 2013, has finally gone gold.
What does that mean? What does it mean to go gold?
To go gold in game development?
Yeah.
It means they've made their master copy, and they're just going to start copying it and printing it.
Oh.
Going gold in games just means the game's done.
I don't believe it.
And they're moving into the manufacturing and shipping side of things.
Okay.
I don't believe it either.
No, nothing. I believe nothing about this.
That this game comes out a week after June 21st. It comes out almost there, but still not on time.
That's totally what's going to happen.
The real question now is how many people even care at this point?
Oh, I think people still care, but I think people are also just the people who cared the most are at this point just really pissed off.
Yeah.
Because they've had to wait how many years? 3 years?
3 years. September 2013, so a little less than 3 years.
Okay.
But for an indie title like this, that's a lot. especially with the scope of this, because it's about the size of a Mega Man game, as far as I know. And those games aren't exactly, like, expansive.
Yeah, they're pretty much just 2D,
Like 2D
side-scrollers.
Well, this one's like a 3D side-scroller.
Oh, okay.
But it's going to be 8 bosses, and then a final 3-stage boss level, or, end level.
Yeah. Doesn't,
I think it's hard to justify that dev time.
And as we've talked about in the past...
this game is amazing. And incredibly polished.
I mean, from all the gameplay we've seen...
it looks bland.
It looks like a really basic side-scroller.
It looks like a bland version of Mega Man.
like a cheap knockoff of Mega Man.
It does.
Which is
really sad.
It's super disappointing. But we've reported in the past about how I forget his name, but the guy who's... Keiji Inafune, decided to just start going off and kickstarting other Mega Man related games and working on other projects before this launched. What?
Yeah. It's ridiculous. You don't go and ask people for a bunch more money for another game when your first game has already been, delayed twice and not released.
Now, I understand the idea that, his process, or his contribution to the process was over by that point, and he felt like he could move on to other projects, but it's still, a bad PR move to do that before your game has been released.
Very bad.
So, that was silly on his part. But, also just the fact that, maybe his role in the creation of the game wasn't over yet, and he did leave prematurely, and that's why it was delayed so much.
That's what made me even angrier. about it. Although I suppose I should say I personally am not really angry about this, because I don't really even want to play the game.
I'd want to check it out.
Yeah.
But I feel like I'd rather just, go back and play an older Mega Man game.
Me too.
Right?
I'd rather just pop in Mega Man X.
Yeah, totally.
Or X2, or X3, or X4, because they're all good.
So the bottom line is, my number 9 is supposed to come out on June 21st.
Yes.
It won't.
Yes.
But we'll see. We'll see what happens.
Stardew Valley, which we've talked about a little bit.
Talk about that sweet duck mayonnaise.
Game developed... That sweet, sweet duck mayonnaise. A game developed by a single man, Mr. Eric Barone, over the course of 4 years, and released on Steam to sell like crazy.
Oh, man.
Damn! This game sold like crazy. And it's real good. It's going to be getting some major updates in the coming months, including a content update comprising version 1.1 of the Windows game, as well as a multiplayer mode, new language options, and ports to other consoles. Barone, who's better known by the handle Concerned Ape,
that's great.
Was quick to mention there is no release window for the additions and ports yet. They're just being worked on. To speed things along, however, he has roped in his publisher to take charge on the ports, localization process, and programming end of the co-op multiplayer function. Which I'm sure they were happy to do, given that he was developing this. They were like, hey, cool little game, why don't we publish it for you? He said okay, and then it made them tons of money.
Yeah.
So I'm sure they are more than willing to help him with all of this stuff. The update, there's more content toward the later portion of the game. The update will include advanced farming mechanics, new marriage candidates and events, fixes, secrets, and other improvements. There's also merchandise based on the game being made. According to the developer, the game has sold over 1 million copies since its February launch. It's great. It's really fun. It deserves its success. If you like Harvest Moon, Minecraft, those sort of games, check it out, because you will not be disappointed. And knowing that it's going to continue to be supported and get all these updates is wonderful. And the biggest problem right now is you do hit a point in the game where you kind of feel like you've done everything. So knowing that they're going to be adding more content to take you further after that is great. As well as content for the whole game at large. Wonderful. And the fact that it's going to come out on consoles is even better.
Yeah.
I am happy with that. An interesting follow-up story to the shutdown of the private WoW server Nostalrius by Blizzard Entertainment comes to us from May 1st in a Polygon article. where the admins of Nostalrius have said that they are going to be meeting with Blizzard to talk about this. So there was a huge outcry from fans and just video game in the know people in general, basically. The vast majority of which was very negative press towards Blizzard for doing this. Overwhelmingly so. Negative press that you and I both pretty heartily agreed with. Blizzard really had no reason to do this.
It was, I mean, they had legal grounds to stand on, but it was just a really bad PR move.
Really bad PR move. And it comes off as because these guys weren't making any money off of this either.
No.
There was no money being made off of this server, so it comes off as why would you even bother doing this? And it seems like just because you can. And, you have the grounds to do it, so why not just do it?
Yeah.
But there was no really good reason to do it, in my opinion. The Nostalrius team is taking this as a good sign. Blizzard recently said, I think we said this last week, that someone at Blizzard, J. Allen Brack, the executive producer of WoW, said that his development team had been discussing the possibility of classic servers for years, which I think is a total lie.
They've been discussing how they don't want to do that.
Yeah, they don't want to do them. But the Nostalrius team has said, we are very excited to help Blizzard understand the part of their community asking for legacy servers and many other related topics, in the hope that they will eventually make it possible to legally play previous game expansions. Further, we feel we are now not only the admins of a private server, we are also the ambassadors of a larger movement for the entire WoW community that wants to see game history restored. Meeting date was not specified. This is cool that they are getting to meet with Blizzard. I feel like their meeting will actually end up having very little to do with what Blizzard decides.
Maybe, but I actually take this, I'm a little more optimistic about this than you are. Because
I just have my cynicism towards Activision Blizzard at this point.
Well, that's probably fair, yeah. But the fact that this story keeps coming back, but now it's not coming back because fans are angry. Honestly,
it's not coming back as the screw you Blizzard anymore.
Yeah, because honestly, that's starting to simmer down.
Yeah.
At least as far as Twitter's concerned.
Yes.
So if Blizzard really didn't want to do this,
yes,
they could have just said nothing and waited for this to basically blow over. There would still be rumblings about it, but I think it would have died down significantly. But instead, they're trying to do outreach to the community by doing this.
Right.
And I think that shows some sort of smart decision-making on their part. I mean, their whole problem right now with WoW is that they're hemorrhaging subscribers. Right. So setting up a legacy server, if that draws back anywhere near the number that Nostalrius had, that's just going to be helpful to them. So it's just a stupid business decision not to do that.
Right.
And I think they might have finally got it through their heads that they can make money off of a legacy server, and that's why they want to make one. Right. And then they're being cool enough about it as to go to these guys who are the old admins and be like, okay, so if we wanted to set up a legacy server and make money off of it, what's the most non-offensive way to do that?
Right. Yeah. What's the way we can do that doesn't come off as super, skeezy?
Yeah. And I think those guys will tell them, and hopefully they will take that advice.
Hopefully so.
So we have
story from CD Projekt Red.
Yeah.
Everybody's favorite developer of The Witcher 3.
So this is...
and the other Witcher.
And the other ones too, I guess. So this story, there isn't actually a lot of meat to this, but it's still just very exciting to me.
We've known they've been developing this other game for some time.
Yes.
Cyberpunk 2077.
Which, surprise, is a Cyberpunk game.
Indeed it is.
Set in 2077.
Yes, it is set in the metropolis of Night City.
I remember reading that and just being like, I mean, they couldn't be any more cyberpunk with a name like that unless they actually just said it was Los Angeles or Tokyo.
Yeah.
Or Hong Kong, I guess.
Hong Kong works too.
Yeah, Hong Kong's also very cyberpunk, but Los Angeles and Tokyo are the big ones.
Yeah. This is Blade Runner shit in here.
Oh yeah.
Look at this Blade Runner. So they have said, Iwinski, the CEO of CD Projekt Red, said the game will be more ambitious on every single front in the development and on the marketing side. And this is in regard to The Witcher 3. So he's promising a game that in every single way is more ambitious than The Witcher 3.
The Witcher 3
was a pretty ambitious game.
Pretty ambitious. So that makes me very excited.
Definitely.
You'll be radical about this because The Witcher 3 has this huge open world.
Yes.
What if this game had a huge open world and it was all just one city? Because that's how big the city is.
I'm hoping that's what it is.
That'd be so
with like
great.
full interiors and everything for all the buildings.
Amazing.
That would be incredible. And that's what I want.
Yeah.
Because if you make a world in the scale of The Witcher 3's world, why not just make a much smaller world that's just dense with stuff?
Yeah.
Under, over, inside, like everywhere. You just go everywhere.
Got sewer systems, got skyscrapers.
Like,
subways.
That's awesome. That'd be so cool.
So great.
I'm wondering how the narrative in this is going to play out, because it's going to be like an open-ended narrative, a non-linear story, a la The Witcher.
Mm-hmm.
I'm wondering if you'll be playing as a set character, like in The Witcher.
I mean,
a la Geralt, or if there will be some degree of character creation in this one.
You know, I think because CD Projekt Red is... Like, I understand that with The Witcher, that was a book property that they were adapting.
Yes. So obviously they wanted to have it focus on Geralt.
Yeah, but I think because they know how to do that kind of thing, they will probably create a really compelling and interesting
lead character
that you play as.
Perhaps maybe a couple different lead characters.
Go the GTA 5 route.
Yeah,
maybe that would be interesting.
Have 2 or 3 playable main characters that all play the story in different ways.
I would
Especially
really
if they're going for a non-linear storytelling. Having you be able to choose who you play as and which missions you do at which times would be really cool too.
The only thing I found a little weird about this quote was he was like, it's more ambitious in development and marketing.
We're going to have bigger posters.
Yeah, I'm like, I mean, do you need to, I guess you need to market it.
I guess.
Is that something that, like, I don't care?
I don't want to talk about this story. The gist of the story from Destructoid on, yesterday on the 5th is that, the free-to-play Nintendo eShop game Lost Reavers is awful.
It's just awful.
It's just flat out awful. If you want to read this article, you can. I'll post it to our Facebook or something. But it's literally just like, don't even bother. This game is just like hours of misery to get to more hours of misery.
You know, the graphics don't look that bad.
The art direction's terrible, though.
It is.
The graphics look fine, but like...
Yeah, they got some decent textures.
The design is awful. And that HUD is hideous.
Oh, it's really, but like the camera angle is like,
everything is bad, and the big dumb numbers that pop up when you hit guys, ugh. Also, I want to just quote one sentence from this article. Bullets are not infinite, and can be purchased with real money.
Oh no. That's horrible. That's, ugh.
So we're running out of time. We got like 7 minutes or so left.
You want to talk about Star Fox? Or you going to talk about Star
Fox? I
really
do want to talk about Star Fox.
Let's talk about Star Fox, and then we'll talk about upcoming games.
Yes. So Star Fox, I might talk a little bit about Dark Souls 3. Star Fox Zero came out. I bought it. I played it a little bit before our last show.
All the articles said no, it was terrible.
No.
Okay, most of the articles said no, it was terrible. And as I recall, you said...
I like it.
No, it's good.
I like it. It's fun. It's a fun arcade shooter. And I thought that the controls were fine. Like, I started getting used to them in the time I played, and I was like, yeah, these controls work. They're good. Once you figure out how they work, it's like, yeah, you're okay. So I have played a bit more of the game. Me and my wife sat down and did the co-op, where one person flies the ship, and one person shoots the guns.
See, that sounded like a lot of fun.
It was.
Good.
It was great.
I was really worried you were going to say it was awful.
No, and in fact, it makes the game work really well, because the difficulty often comes from the fact that you need to steer your ship with the joystick and be aware of where your ship's moving in space, while simultaneously using the gyro in the Wii gamepad to aim your guns and fire.
Yeah.
This takes that double think kind of out of it, where one person can focus on shooting, one person can focus on flying, and you just communicate with each other, and it's great. It works really well.
And because you're married, you're really good at communicating with the person that you're playing with, so it all works out.
Absolutely. Then the part happened where we almost got into a huge fight.
Oh no. Because you weren't communicating.
No. No. The game just, so everything I liked about the game just came crashing down around me in a 40-minute sequence of attempts on the same boss. over and over and over again. Now, anybody who wants to correct me can go ahead, but the boss fight against Gigarilla, your second time on Corneria, is garbage. That boss fight is shit. It's terrible. So this boss fight, you're in the R-Wing, you have to fight this giant robot gorilla.
I assume you're in all range mode.
You're in all range mode.
Oh, thank goodness.
You are in all range mode. Now, first things first, the gorilla has Unibeam like Iron Man, but you can blow up his chest so he can't do it.
Okay.
He can shoot missiles out of his back, also like Iron Man. And there's nothing you can do about that.
Basically, you're fighting Iron Man.
Basically, you're fighting Iron Man.
Gorilla Iron Man.
He can shoot beams out of his hands like Iron Man.
This is just like Marvel Apes, the award-winning comic series.
Yeah, exactly. So you can blow up the things in his hands so he can't shoot lasers out of his hands. You can blow up his chest things so he can't shoot lasers out of his chest. He mostly just stomps around the arena swinging at you and trying to hit you or shooting lasers.
Okay.
Now, every time he hits you, the R-Wing turns into walker mode. It changes from the ship mode to the little chicken walker.
But why? What's the logic behind that?
That has not happened at any other level in this game. That has never been a thing until just now.
Do you think it was a glitch, or is it supposed to happen?
I think it's supposed to happen because it has happened every single time we got hit, every single time we attempted the fight.
Okay.
It didn't matter what we got hit by either. We thought like, oh, maybe he has some attack that shorts you out and transforms you. No. If he hits you with his hand, you transform. If he hits you with the laser, you transform. If he hits you with a missile, you transform. And you have to transform back. Because guess what? Being in the walker mode for that fight sucks. It's terrible.
It's terrible.
And the whole goal of the fight, so we almost got into a fight because my wife was flying the ship, and I was shooting, and she kept getting hit, and turning into the walker, and I was like, why does she keep turning into the walker? Why does she keep turning into the walker? She's smashing the A button for no reason. Why does she keep turning into the walker? We're gonna lose the fight. And then I was like, I'll fly the ship, and she can shoot, and we switched, and I was like, why am I turning into the walker? And we realized there was all a big misunderstanding. But it was no less infuriating. So, that's like part one. Part two of the fight is, he has this thing on his butt that you need to destroy. That's the goal. Yeah. That's the end goal of the thing on his butt. Yeah. You can never hit it. He turns to follow you. He ignores your teammates. He just follows you around the arena. And you can fly under his legs, but by the time you've turned around, or turned into the walker to turn around a little bit quicker and shoot at his butt, he's turned around to face you. You can't do it, and then he stomps you, and you take a ton of damage, and you turn into the walker if you're already in the walker mode. And then, meanwhile, if you destroy his weapons so he can't attack you with as many things, he just shoots missiles. That's the only thing he's left with. The missiles are the hardest thing to deal with. So it's not beneficial to destroy any of his other parts, because the missiles all come out, and they move really slow, but they home in on you. And the fact that they're moving slowly and homing in on you means they can turn on a dime to follow you wherever you might go. And unlike every other thing that can hit you in this game, where you have a brief period of invincibility after getting hit, the missiles don't do that. Which means you get hit by a single missile, stunned, and then you get hit by all the rest of the missiles and die instantly. This boss fight is horrible. We destroyed the patch on his butt once, only to learn that then you need to turn into the walker mode, somehow get onto him, and hack a computer on his butt to stop him from moving.
What?
The moment we noticed that's what we had to do, he did an attack we had never seen before, where he got into a running pose, sprinted to the other side of the arena, and then we just died. We don't know what killed us. Our ship just exploded. We were at like half health. And the ship just blew up.
Oh.
We turned into the walker and then we blew up.
Yeah, because you got hit by somebody.
This fight sucks. And anyone who wants to tell me otherwise can go right ahead. But I just want to bring up that last week I said, no, I like the game. The controls are fine. I stand by that. But fuck this boss. This boss had made me not want to play the game anymore because I need to beat him to progress. And the boss fight just feels broken. It's bad. And every other boss up to this point's been fine. So, bad job, Nintendo. You beefed it. You were doing really good, and then this crap happened.
I mean, just the walker transformation thing just sounds like a glitch to me.
It does.
Like, the rest of it sounds like a boss fight that's harder than it should be, but the walker thing sounds like a glitch.
And that's a huge part of what makes the boss fight so hard. Because if you even get hit by the slightest thing, you have to deal with, you turn into this frickin' thing, and you get hit again because you're transforming, and you have to transform back. Like, it's real not good. I don't like it.
Real bad.
In contrast, Dark Souls 3 is amazing.
Oh.
I beat every boss. I beat the optional bosses. I just beat one of them yesterday, and I was very happy about it because he's hard as hell.
Mm-hmm.
The game's super good. I'm going to start New Game Plus. I'm still having tons of fun with it. I can't wait to do New Game Plus. It's going to be great. It's going to be really good. Makes Dark Souls 2 look like a pile of hot shit. I would call it a definite return to form after Dark Souls 2, which is actually like a good game, but that's probably just a good game. It's
yeah.
A great game. So it's definitely a return to form. It's goddamn excellent. And unlike Star Fox Zero, all the boss fights are functional and don't feel broken.
Oh.
Go figure.
Well, good.
Like, I had this moment where I was getting upset because I was fighting this optional boss in Dark Souls 3, and I'm like, this guy's so hard. Oh my god, he's so hard. I don't know if I'm going to be able to beat him. The one I finally just beat yesterday. And when we were playing Star Fox Zero and dying to Gigarilla, in my mind I was just like, I wish I was fighting Nameless King right now. He's a fair boss fight, even if I'm losing constantly.
I would rather be fighting a Dark Souls boss than the Star Fox boss.
Nintendo first-party fun-for-kids Star Fox video game. I was stuck on a boss, and I just wanted nothing to do with it. I'm like, I would rather go fight the hardest boss in Dark Souls 3 over and over again, dying, than deal with this crap.
Oh, man.
So that ties that together.
Okay.
There you go.
Well, really quickly, games that just came out. Battleborn. Yeah, who cares?
Someone cares. Someone on my PlayStation Network friends list was playing it.
Oh.
And I shook my head.
Also, I've looked at some of the reviews. And I've seen positive stuff. A lot of people saying that it just handles very well. Like, the shooting is really solid in it.
The gameplay's solid, but the game itself, from what I've seen, it's mostly gotten, kind of average 7s, 8s.
Yeah. Super Hot came out on the Xbone.
Cool.
So if you got an Xbone, play Super Hot. And what's about to come out that's important is Uncharted 4 for the PS4.
Has been getting rave reviews.
Mm-hmm.
I looked at Destructoid's review of it, and they gave it a 9.5 out of 10, and I was like, that's awesome. I didn't like Uncharted 3 very much, so maybe this is a good return to form and I'll enjoy this game.
Yeah, we're hoping the series can end on a high note.
So then I looked up their review of Uncharted 3, and Destructoid gave that a 10 out of 10.
Oh no.
And I was like, I don't know what to trust anymore. But the description of it in their review seemed good. Like, a lot of the stuff they were saying was really good to hear. Like, that they varied up the gameplay more this time. The characters are all there. The writing and voice acting are very on point. The pacing is excellent, and that the conclusion is surprising and very good. So, take that information and do with it what you will.
Cool. But yeah, I think the other important games that are coming out, we're not going to talk about until next week.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's that. I didn't get a chance to talk about our social media earlier because I was too busy trying to figure out what day it was, what day of the week. But we are on all sorts of social media. You can follow us on those. We are on Facebook, Twitter, YouTube, iTunes, and Steam.
That is correct.
On YouTube and iTunes and on the Chip It website, we have show archives. Now, the YouTube one, we still are dealing with a backlog of older episodes, but all the recent ones are going up there. So if you want to listen to recent episodes, those will definitely be up. Definitely check us out on that social media. We post really regularly to Facebook and Twitter.
Yeah.
So like us, tweet at us. We'd appreciate it. And also support chipit.net, who hosts us.
Yes.
The magnanimous James.
Go listen to Chip It Radio. Listen to some chiptune music.
It's great. And apparently he's been talking to me. There's going to be a site revamp, so the site's going to be real pretty.
Yes.
There's all sorts of cool new logos and graphic design stuff, and there are 3 new shows coming to the station.
That's
so
amazing.
It won't just be us.
3 new shows?
There will be 3
How
new
will
shows.
we compete?
I don't think we will. I think our days are numbered now that there's actually competition. It's going to be really bad. But mark it now. This is our 75th episode. This is the beginning of the end.
Yes.
For
will
us.
Will we make it to 100?
Unlikely.
Anyway, thank you all for listening. We, as always, have been Don't Copy That Floppy. We will be coming back at you next week 7 to 8 p.m. live Eastern Standard Time.
On Friday.
On Friday.
Yeah.
To talk to you about more video game news.
Mm-hmm.
It's going to be great.
Awesome.
You're going to like it. But until then, remember,
don't copy that floppy.